we have Ginchy. You're there. I'm there. We're ready.
We're ready. Let's go.
Ready. Ooh, do we do intros?
Hi, I'm Anshika, and I'm the vibe. That's my intro everywhere. There's nothing more I know about me. If you want to know more about me, you can go to my social media and find.
Yes. Hi, I'm Chandni. I can top that off for sure because I just have one line as well. I do a couple of things. I write. I talk about women. And you will see that in the description below. And I'm here to talk about this Ginchy thread because it takes so long to understand it. And the only way to keep this information in my head is to talk about it. So that. Anshika, what is Ginchy like?
Ginchy is a word that means cool or sexy. I mean, how could it mean both things is a question for me too. But it means cool or sexy. And it's like a old pop culture word that does not hold any relevance to Gen Z today. But I thought, यार एक cool word है, इसको वापस लाते हैं. So I brought it back and I aim to bring it back. I want to make it more mainstream. If I could do that, and if when I Google Ginchy in the next few years, maybe, and that trajectory shows the usage of it increase, and I can attribute it to myself, I'll be really proud of it.
Yes, I think that will be with a lot of woke things, not just Ginchy. Like imagine if a lot of woke things just start happening more often because you talk about them. We want that, right? Not
Sure,
just...
that's a very peculiar dream to have, but I like it. I like the idea of it.
Yes, yes.
So the first one says the influencer and the entrepreneurial paths are greatly intertwined today, but the right way to do it is not to chase vanity metrics, which is one point that we really want to discuss. For example, followers, but to engineer serendipity, plugging SG here, with the audience you're building. And this is something I read from some article by Jacob Greenfeld. And I linked a little thingy, which is an ebook called A Skill Called Duck. And I thought it's an excellent ebook. I have not read it, but I just judged the book by its title and I think it's cool. Thoughts, Chandni?
Okay, so the first thing I remembered, engineer serendipity padke, right? It was the first thing that came to my mind, and we've been talking about this for so long with Saurabh, with C4E, right? The marketing collective Anshika and I are a part of, right? It's luck is equal to opportunity into preparation, right? You don't think of luck as something you prepare for. You don't think of luck as something you have control over, right? But one of the most interesting things I've come across in the last year is that you can engineer luck, you can create it, right? And it sounds insane only until you break it down. And I can give you an example, right? Luck can mean different things. It could be personal luck, it could be professional luck, and I'll give you a professional luck example, right? The only way I will have more people know what I'm doing is if I talk about it on the internet, right? Today I have an amazing job, and I'll tell you why I do air quotes. The only reason I have an amazing job is because I was sitting on the internet and hunting for these people. I was talking about myself, even though I didn't have a lot of things to say, right? So luck can be created in a lot of ways, and we'll sort of plug in Sahil Bloom's whole tweet about increasing luck surface area. It's very interesting. It's one of the best pieces I've read. But that's the first thing that comes to my mind. The second you understand that luck can be created, the influencer path can change altogether. So that.
Right. Also on being present on the internet, showing up on the internet. It's just recently I've started to see and get in touch with more writers or authors or people of the opinion who say कि internet पे present होना होता है. You need to show up and show your work or whatever. But I realize I've been doing that for the longest while with all my 7,000 accounts. My poetry, my art, my photography, my t-shirts, my whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it's helping me, but I'm pretty sure it will someday. It's just me putting out my work.
You were telling to know 1,000 people from across the world, like your friends are in your city because you had, people following you from around the world. And this was years ago, not in the influencer era, right? So that's interesting.
Yes, थोड़ी बहुत influencer मैं भी हूँ.
Yes.
Another part of this tweet I really like is the idea of vanity metrics. Thoughts, Chandni? I'll just do this first, Chandni.
Yeah, I have a
I
love.
have a name for the podcast. Thoughts, Chandni.
No, not happening. It
Yes.
cannot be centered around me. We're not doing that. No, big no. This video is not going
Done.
on. Vanity metrics, very big love-hate relationship, right? And I can give you an example. In the last 6 months, I've been trying to build an Instagram page, and it's called Decoding Property, right? It's a women-first community that we're trying to do a lot of things with. And this is the first time I've been on Instagram, and I've, noticed people. I've learned, I've studied influencers, and that's why I've built this love-hate relationship with vanity metrics. Every time I write something, I want 1,000 people to see it. And that's a vanity metric, okay? I need 1,000 views on that, right? At its core, it may just be reaching 1,000 people, but that number is what I'm chasing. I am going and checking insights all the time. I am going and checking, how many people reacted to this, right? What I realized is that, of course, it's not healthy. It gets toxic at some point. On so many days, I'm feeling like, hey, all I did these last 2 days were create something that 40 people saw, right? And the algorithm did not support, and all my energy goes there. The other part of not chasing vanity metric is the fun thing, right? It's the part about being an influencer, trying to create and drive change is the nice part, right? And that is being authentic on the internet. I know for a fact that in the past year I've thought about this. I will not say something or do something because until I'm feeling it completely, right? And I like that is the most, how do I say that? How do I want to articulate this well? That is the most challenging part of being an influencer. That's the most, and these are correlated, right? Vanity metrics drive you to be like Instagram requires you to be. Then you want to be honest as well, right? So it's these extremes that you have to find balance with. And I think that's one of the most challenging things. I still chase vanity metrics. I still want like 1 million followers to see what I'm creating. But I want to do that while keeping this core thing precious and honest and valuable and authentic. So maybe, Anshika, you want to give an example of the kind of content we know people want to consume, but we don't want to
Yes.
create, right? Maybe that.
Yes. That's exactly what's been on my mind. So with DD, when we're working with DD, we want to create high level content. We want to talk about things on a deeper level of feminism. We want to touch upon those nuances, right? But when we study our competitors, the things we notice is that we cannot always do that. We cannot always talk about the Madonna whore complex when people are talking about what puberty means. This is basic and this is not.
Yeah.
And we want to do this kind of content because it's going to get us more followers, more views, and all that. But we know कि हमारा जो TG है, it lies here. So it's also a marketing lesson. We need to refine, and we don't have the number of followers we need.
Yes.
Because we're not doing this content. We want to have 1,000 followers, 1,000 reactions to everything, but we can't.
Yeah.
And for the longest while, we hated that. We hated कि हमारे पास नहीं है. But then we understood that we have a very core, precious TG. Very good following of people.
TG. I love that.
Evolved TG.
Evolved TG.
Evolved TG. Yes. So yes, that's us on vanity metrics and our experience with understanding the whole concept of vanity metrics and not letting it crumble us.
Yeah. And sorry, it reminds me of this very. I wanted to gatekeep this thought, but I cannot. And we can cut it out later if you don't want to, put this out in the world. But vanity metrics was the last time we had this conversation. We spoke about 100 posts, and we were upset about 180 followers after doing 100 posts. Even though we saw accounts with 50 posts and 300 followers, and I was like, dude, what is happening, right? And I remember Anshika telling me that I'll tell you something sweet about touching 100 posts on Instagram when we do that, right? And the night we did, Anshika comes and tells me, to hell with the followers for now. To hell with the numbers we're not getting. Sorry, not to hell with the followers we currently have.
We love the followers.
Yes, we love you, okay? I swear. To hell with the people we're not getting yet, right? The point is that the 100 posts indicate that we have done this 100 times. We have tried this 100 times. Each time we've posted, we've grown, right? And that means 100 attempts, even though the numbers didn't keep us going. nothing kept us going. Instagram didn't, support us entirely. Now we're doing amazing. Like the algorithm loves us. That's a different case. But it didn't do that when we needed it the most, right? So that's with the numbers, right? Like, that number could mean a different thing, right? Not necessarily followers. So you've got to find that for yourself to keep going. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. It's such a beautiful thing. I think I wish more people understood it.
Oh,
It should, I want to create a social media playbook where this is the first thing that people learn
yes,
about.
yes.
Should note it
This
somewhere.
and, yeah, this and create and move on. Like, don't look back at your post. Do the next one. Do the next one, right? Which is unpopular because
Yes,
people are constantly asking you to look at insights. Maybe not. Like, you'll stop, right? Like, you look at your insights, but you don't stop there. You get on.
just do. It's okay. It's not happening. It's not happening. You understand it's not happening. Maybe something is off. You'll tweak it and you move on. Don't think about it. And also on starting, which is very out of context, out of this tweet, but if something comes to your head, just do it. If today I feel like I want to make a shit posting account for my Twitter on Instagram, I do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but just do it. Let those intrusive thoughts win.
Yes, it's called Hello Bird app. It exists. It's not a lie.
It exists. It
Yeah.
reminds me I
In
need to
fact,
go
that's
back
a
to
good.
it.
So yeah, you have to go back to that, and that's a good transition to the second one. I didn't know that's the second thing. That's a good
Mhm.
transition. Like wanting to do what you want to do. Do you want to go ahead with that? That's a good transition.
Yes. So when you have planned cool stuff for the next day, you wake up excited. Momentum makes the grind easier. No. The way I look at it is when I know when I'm going to bed tonight, that tomorrow I'm hanging out with Chandni, which is when she came to Bombay and I met her. I could not sleep. I could not sleep. I get so excited about the fact that I'm meeting her. Same for work. When I know that I'm taking this DD calendar to college tomorrow to click pictures, I have so many ideas in my head. I cannot do things. So when I have things and projects lined up, जो मेरे को पता are exciting for me, I don't think about the fact that I slept for 4 hours last night. I just do. That's me. That's my little insight on this. I
Yeah.
am not much of a thinker. I just write.
Yeah. No, very similar thoughts, right? The funny part that when I read this, I realized was I always thought that I'd have to compensate for good days outside of work, like at least until a year ago, right? I thought if I want a good day, it has to exist outside my 9 to 5, which I thought I'd be doing, right? It was always that. And I kept thinking, how will I do that? How will I find the time to do fun things outside that? And I realized that today, on most days, I wake up to something exciting. Like Anshika said, if that's a calendar, if that's writing, I know what piece I'm going to write tomorrow, or I know the conversation I'm going to have with somebody I didn't think I'd be talking to the next day, right? You wake up,
Right.
a lot of distraction, sorry. Yeah, the conversation you're going to have, and you wake up feeling a little nervous, a little pumped, and you don't need motivation then. Like, you don't need it. This is planned for you. You enjoy doing it. It challenges you. And that, like, it, even if it's
There's energy
Monday,
inside of you. That
yes,
that little tingling feeling that you have,
yes,
which keeps you going.
yeah. And
It's
we
like
need more
it's
of
like a
that.
little battery. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
All of
what about the stuff that's not so cool? When you have that lined up. The not so cool sides of
Yeah.
things you're doing.
Of course, of course, of course. And I have a mix of both. Sometimes equal, sometimes unequal. I only remind myself, I read this thing once. The best things happen, consistency happens, or things compound when you do these mundane tasks. Okay. And it's a very
Hmm.
basic thing. It needs no explanation. But when I think this happens every time, right? When somebody else says it, you think about it and it works for you. So I remember that. I know these mundane tasks will happen. I know these mundane tasks will compound. Whether that is sitting down to write when I don't feel like it, or whether that is talking to these people and getting those things off my list, right? Some conversations are not fun, right? I know for a fact these things will add up tomorrow because I know why I'm doing them. So I think the lesson is, and I'll come back to that, right? When it comes to not so fun things, if you know why these are happening to you, if you know that these are important for, say, the X thing a year later or even 6 months later, you'll be able to get through it on most days. And when you don't, you take that off, right? Like you take that day off. Okay. But
Yes.
but I think that's with mundane things. Yeah.
Yeah. I think also when your goal is too big, it's something that you've always wanted. Even the mundane seems like, oh, I have to do it. It's the easiest way is through. So
Yes, yes. I think it's the mindset or knowing what you're up to, just that awareness. Yeah. Next one's my
and now
favorite.
we don't. This is
Sorry.
an ultra favorite. This is an ultra favorite. A lot of people said that to me.
Yeah.
So optionality focus trade-off. The more you retain your optionality, the less you can invest in any area, whether it's a career, person, or place. And I picked this from Nate Allison, one of the articles that he wrote. I wish I could link it, which is a reminder for me to find links to these places.
Yeah.
But yes, so optionality focus trade-off basically means trade-off, right? How economics works. There's no free lunches. You give something, you get something. So in the case of optionality and focus, you give away your optionality. For example, if today I want to do three things in the day, which is playing chess, playing ice hockey, and playing volleyball, I spend 3 hours each, that's my 9 hours, versus I spend 1 hour doing my football. That's the trade-off. I can either do 3 hours of all of these or 9 hours of football altogether. If I want to double down on football and be the best football player, I cannot do that if my mind is in 7,000 places, which is what people always talk about, right? Ki focus karo, focus on one thing, one field, do something I struggle with. I cannot decide what I want to stick to. I can't stick to things. Mental load.
Yeah.
So this trade-off basically works in a way ki if I want to be in 7,000 different cities, which Chandni does, she cannot find that one little spot where she has been grown old in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Or if I want to be a lot of things, I cannot be the best at one, which is also something I want, but I cannot. So this trade-off has always been something I struggle with. Everybody tells me to stay focused, to not wander off into the possibilities,
Yeah.
which is very, very seductive at times.
Yeah.
It always is, but you cannot. So this is what the optionality focus trade-off is. If I want to focus on something, I have to let go of a lot of things, a lot of ideas, a lot of projects, a lot of possibilities.
Yes. Yeah.
It's trying to figure out which is that one area जहाँ पे focus करना है, that you think is worth of letting go of all the options and possibilities.
Yeah.
Is a personal struggle, but this is the whole optionality focus trade-off thing.
Yeah, and that's why I love it for two reasons. I know more than one person, more than an Anshika that who struggles with this, and it's a neutral person, right? And maybe we'll get to talk to that person also someday about this because I'm sure you'll get a lot more than we'll be able to say about this because maybe we've understood this only now.
We are amateur optionalists, and the person we know is the professional optionalist.
Yes, exactly. Oh my God, we're amateur optionalists. That's yes, exactly.
Oh, I like that. I'll put it in my Twitter bio now. Amateur optionalist.
Yes, I also like your current Twitter bio, by the way.
Yeah, I
Gravity.
have a word limit, so it works.
Between mediocre and great.
Mediocrity and mediocrity for today morning.
Yes,
And
yes,
greatness.
yes. I really like that. But yeah, no, okay. This is it's very simple, right? I pick career, person, and place. With each of these, I have my own struggles, right? Especially with person and place, with people and places. I want everything, and I also want the feeling of home. I love the feeling of a place feeling familiar and like home just as much. I love the thrill of feeling like a stranger or in places, right? And I've experienced a little bit of both. I don't know, I can't choose, right? And that's the thing I don't have control over yet. I will somehow find a balance to do that. And that's where I understand optionality and focus the most. Recently I've also seen it at work. I also, for me, when it came to career, it was a very simple elimination process. Okay, so like for example, science doesn't work, math I don't like, computer sciences are not happening until I started reading hackers and painters. I didn't even think of all this, right? But not happening, right? So I knew it's in the creative field. It's all of that. So it's a very easy process for me to choose. Even inside that, I realized there's so much to do, and there is so much I want to do at work, right? What's helped me choose, what's helped me focus is having somebody else direct that path for me. Okay. And there is a larger esoteric idea behind this that I'll talk about some other day. But two things that have worked for me. Today, currently, while I talk to you, I have been able to focus on one thing for the most part. 90% of my focus is in one place, right? Which I've been able to crack only because I had external support, only because I had the opportunity, the luck to stumble upon an idea that fits everything, right? Where I can write, where I can build a business for women, where I can talk to other women. Something that keeps each interest of mine stimulated, right? But it wasn't always like this. Even 6 months ago, everything was in front of me and I didn't know what to choose. What's happened is what helps with optionality and focus and to reach a certain point is being open to all of that. Like you'll have to experiment for a bit. You'll have to see what you like. You'll have to talk to more people. You'll have to try your hand, dip your toes in everything to be able to properly focus on one thing at some point. Or maybe not, right? I don't know. I don't know which one of them is right or wrong. But I do agree, if you want to become a specialist at something which some part of the world appreciates, you have to focus. But dipping your toes everywhere is one way to reach that focus or to identify that for some time, right? I may go back to being everywhere, but that's what's helped me with this, I think. And because I don't think I would have understood this a while ago, and now I do. It's just interesting to spot that in life. So that.
Another thing that about focus that comes to my mind is that sometimes you want to be focused on something so strongly, you close your doors for yourself.
Yeah.
Just block out everything. You don't want new experiences.
Yeah.
And in your mind, it's maybe focused, it's not. It's like a placebo. Ki, I'm focused, but are you? Maybe you're not focused, but you're also not open, which is a very quicksand place to be.
I know that's not. And you don't, if you are somebody who enjoys being everywhere, then you're not feeling like yourself when you're focused, right? I've had that. And I've had feeling not like myself because I'm suddenly looking at one thing. I know it's good for me. I know it's working well. But I know that all those doors are staring at me and they're, just moving. The wind is blowing there and I can hear it, right? But I can't do anything about it. So yeah, that's a
That's the trade-off.
Yes, that's the trade-off. Yeah. Yeah, of course, that's the trade-off. So
Mass compounds on itself. The bigger something becomes, the easier it grows. Cases in point one, Kim Kardashian, who's famous for being famous, and second, that money attracts money. This is a midnight thought which might not really be apt, but it is.
It is, yeah, it is. Very quick thought, actually.
Yes, no, you go.
Oh no, very, very quick thoughts, right? Instagram example, any first 100 that you want to hit is the toughest. You reach higher numbers, the easier it gets. It's not a linear scale. Yeah, it's not a linear scale, right? It is a linear scale. Yes. No.
It's an exponential scale.
Correct. It's not a linear scale, right? Exactly. That exactly it is. The bigger something becomes, the easier it grows. And that's the case with any mostly with quantifiable metrics, I think. It happens in famous for being famous, of course. Money attracts money, I think, is a more complicated thing, and I'll get to that. But Instagram is the best example of how mass compounds on itself. So, yeah.
Also, for bigger things, there's so much validation already existing in the world.
Yeah.
It's easier to trust it. For example, with DD, which is so nice, but you can't trust it because you don't have enough followers.
Yeah.
But a certain XYZ account, because it has 200,000 followers, it's easier to trust the work they're doing.
But then it's a chicken and egg situation. Does the trust get built first? Or so how do I make somebody trust us if we're not big? But when we're big, then there are two kinds of opinions. Either they trust us automatically, or but
It's
now I don't
easier
trust
to be
you.
trusted when you have a brand.
But
It's
brand
easier
gets
to be
built
trusted.
with trust. Kind of.
No, let's say if you have a lot of followers, it would be easier for me to trust the fact कि मैं इसको जाके follow करूंगी. Remember how we talk about
Correct.
we don't follow DD because there's a lesser number of followers.
Yeah. How do
So
you get those
it's
people?
harder for us to grow. That's the thing we're not able to crack.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. No,
So
exactly. No. Huh.
what helps here is consistently posting and
Correct.
just hoping for serendipity to happen from the first tweet.
Correct. Yes, exactly. I know our last 20 followers have been the fastest than anything because we've been doing more. If I don't know if you noticed
Yes.
that, right? The reason
Yes.
we plug in DD as an example everywhere is because it's the most experience we have with something. It's not because
Yes.
yeah, in fact,
This is like a live project that we have in colleges. Everything we know is the DD context.
I know.
For me, advertising is all in the pan wala context. There's nothing I know beyond it. So DD is my life project for life.
Yeah. The Banwala project also when it comes to people, right? Like that's a different conversation. We could talk about that also, working with people in groups. Oh my God, I have so much to say about that. But
You have so much to say about it. I have so much to say about
obviously,
it.
yeah, the things I've heard from you. Oh yeah, exactly. No, you have so much to say about it. But no, exactly that. So I think it's a weird situation to be at. The 500, when we reach 500, the people that trust us will trust us. But how do we get those 500? I don't know, right? I guess then all the
I
tough.
think the only thing that this is a big paradox, and the only thing that I think helps as of now, as of 26th December, Monday, 9:51 p.m., is to be consistent and to stay at it, to
Yeah.
just keep creating content, to just keep doing the work, to write when nobody is applauding your novels, to just stay there. Focus.
Show up. Oh my God, just show
Show
up
up.
every day.
Oh, all of this is so related. It's fun.
I know, and like show up is what we started with, right? You show up. Nothing's gonna happen to you if you don't show up. Oh my God, that's
Yes.
show up.
Agreed. Show
So,
up.
yes.
Do you want to say something about money attracts money? I think you had a thought on that.
No, a lot of thoughts. I don't know which in this context it is the kind of people like rich people attract rich people. Okay. Money attracts money also goes to a universe level, right? Like the more money you have, your lifestyle behavior is like your lifestyle is like that, your behavior is like that, your spends are like that, right? The things you do will attract more money. Like if you don't have the confidence or if you don't invest in that one expensive dinner that you can't afford, you may not be in the next place that could make you richer. I don't know. I just thought of that. Maybe. I don't know. That makes sense, right? Yeah.
Correct.
For example, 6 months ago, I was at a meetup meeting. Somebody famous had come in. They were meeting, right? Right after that meetup, the 6 people that stay, they went for dinner. I left for home because I didn't want to spend $300 on a cab. And the metro would shut down. And now, the second I reached home, I knew that that was an investment I should have made, right? That would have helped me grow. And that's the thing. So money attracts money could mean a lot of things to me. When I think about this, it is you fake it at that time, right? You invest in that time.
It's not faking, but yes, it's some level of mindful investing.
Yeah, it's that investment, right? And I think only then you move forward. Is that okay? If you think you don't have money and you operate like you don't have money, you will never maybe have it. So I think that's the best. Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah, but that's also very bad advice to give to somebody.
Of course,
who might not take it well.
Oh God, no, disclaimer.
All of this conversation is highly nuanced for applying it and blaming it on us.
Yes,
please.
don't go buy something if not. Yeah, don't do that. We'll put a disclaimer. No, we're saying the disclaimer right now. We're not telling you to spend outside your what's the word?
Means.
Yeah, outside your means. Don't do that. That's not what we mean. I hope you get what we
We just mean to spend it in places jahan pe there's some part of your budget being invested, but you make sure you get returns out of it. Or maybe not today, but maybe sometime in the future. But वो इतना amount नहीं होना चाहिए that it ruins your life.
Yes, exactly.
Now I'll sleep feeling safer about the content we put out.
Yes.
My favorite. Chalo. Dumbness versus stupidity. The way I love this, I don't know why. I just attract stupid. So dumbness is honorable, it's straightforward. What do you think of this? I want to ask you, what do you think of dumbness is honorable, it's straightforward?
I'm guessing you meant honest people who don't know something and are honest about it. It's straightforward, right? You know somebody doesn't know something about, somebody doesn't know something about something, right? I'm guessing you meant that. And that's why it's honorable. It's straightforward. You know they don't know it, and they may make an effort to find out about it, or they're honest about not knowing it. Stupidity is
Okay.
your favorite. Is that what you meant? No, wait, stop.
Almost there. Almost there.
What else did I?
So dumbness is great because you are dumb. It's okay. It is slightly cocky, but it's okay. I'll be that. I'll risk my reputation on the internet.
Opinion.
You're dumb, it's okay. You're not strong opinion, stark opinion. Yes, that's why.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So dumbness, it's okay to be dumb. It's not your fault that you don't have the highest IQ. Maybe you were raised a different way. Maybe you were brought up differently. Maybe you had different. It's okay. I mean, I don't know what makes you not smart, but that's a different conversation. It's okay. It's there. It's straightforward. It's inherent. It can or cannot be removed.
Correct.
Stupidity, on the other hand, is smart people acting like they're dumb because they want to continue pretending to be smart.
Do you mean like them not making an effort? Like they think, okay, I'm smart, I won't do this. Like I won't do the work. Is that what you're saying?
Let's say I'm in a problematic situation. मुझे नहीं आता है इसको कैसे fix करने का है. But I want everybody to think कि मेरे को आता है. I want to have this sense of control. I want to tread my path as a smart person.
Yeah.
So what I do is, without confronting the fact कि मैं कुछ गड़बड़ कर सकती हूँ या कर रही हूँ, I'll go ahead and do with inadequate knowledge, resources, or tools to solve that. So while I had it in me to have the humility to go ahead and say कि नहीं आता, maybe I'm out of my wits at this, I make a mistake and then I try to justify that mistake.
Okay.
That is stupidity.
That's a lot of things I hear. That is ignorance. That is trying to be smart. Like that is trying to fake it, trying to be smart, not being honest about where you are, not being able to ask for help. I hear all of these things, which are horrible. I mean, which I don't like it. Right?
Yeah, so that is what I think is stupidity. The dumbness is there.
Yeah.
ठीक है. Stupidity का fix होता है, but you can't figure shit out. For example, there have been ultra smart professors who get scammed into dealing drugs from one country to another because professor को call आया that bro, drugs एक country से दूसरे country ले जाना है. Like, I'm a girl, I need money, help me do this. The professor, a Harvard Yale level professor, does not think twice and takes her bag from one country to another. Bag with drugs hai, but he did not think twice before doing that for her.
Yeah.
Why? Because he wants to be the good guy for the said questionable lady.
Okay.
And gets caught doing that. That is stupidity.
Yeah.
Does this put on stupidity and dumbness? Dumbness ये होता कि मेरे को पता ही नहीं है. I am so naive, I don't understand कि ऐसा कुछ possible है. Stupidity is when you know all these things, you have some sort of biases, some cognitive biases in your head कि नहीं हो सकता.
Excuse to have done it.
An excuse, yes. That is stupidity.
I didn't think of these two things as different things, which is so interesting because you found this tiny difference and now I'll be able to see through it in people, which is always fun. Very bitchy, but yeah. Oh wow. We should take the last minute to wrap this, like do a bye-bye. I will never end. How do you end this? I don't know. This is so much fun. I don't think I've ever done this before. I don't know if you're used to stuff like this.
No,
But
I never record myself.
Yeah, same. And I know
It's
Zoom
surprising.
looks so nice, so that's that. But
Yes, so that was it from the Ginchy thread for
yes.
25th of December, the Christmas evening.
We still don't have a name, but
that was the end of the first episode of a podcast. We have not named it, but we're thinking of naming it Thoughts Chandni.
no.
I quite like the name.
No.
Yes.
It's too centered around me. It's us talking. Like
Fine. That's me asking Thoughts Chandni. See, I am doing the writing. The content is all about what I do.
and you're
But the
asking
name
other
could
people
be
what they think.